those bright lights. Look through all the cheap disguise. Bitter truth, the solid sea. It's a reflection of me. Spinning wheels stop turning. Rushing everything. All the world starts in its leading to revelries. Whirling picture focusing. I can see just who I am. I can't look away. Deeper, deep in out. Deeper, deep in out. Deeper, deep in out. Deeper, deep in out. One life fail, how can I break away? Feel I die, make this my final breath. Live every day, don't wanna see tomorrow. I lost away, don't have to fade away. Can't ever lie, doubt the way it is. It's so unfair. Taking my life forever gone. I don't know what I'm thinking. Leave me out in everything. My mind's forever sinking. Taking my life forever gone. Where will I be tomorrow? Wasted life. Forget who I am. No thought to consequences. Never feel the end. Blow all my life to pieces. Not to wake another day. Less pain and suffering. Losing feeling tired. No meaning left in my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take my life forever gone. I don't know what I'm thinking. Leave me out in everything. My mind's forever sinking. Take my life forever gone. Where will I be tomorrow? Wasted life. Well, Mama told me when I was young, said sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. It will. Oh, take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a woman, and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above. And be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son? If you can, if you can. Get your lust from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Oh, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? So baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? We passed upon the stair, spoken wasn't well, although I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes, I thought you died alone, a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me, we never lost control. Face to face, the man who sold the world. I laughed and shook his hand. years and years I roamed. I gazed and stared. We must have million years. I must have died alone a long, long time ago. Who knows? Not me. I never lost control. Your face to face with another soul world. Who knows? Not me. We never lost control. Your face to face of another soul the world. I wanted you to know that I love the way you laugh. I wanna hold you high and steal your pain away. I keep your photograph, and I know it serves me well. I wanna hold you high and steal your pain. Because I'm broken when I'm lonesome, and I don't feel right when you're gone away. You've gone away, you don't feel me here anymore. The worst is over now, and we can breathe again. I wanna hold you back, steal my pain away. There's so much left to learn, and no one left to fight. I wanna hold you high and steal your pain. 'Cause I'm broken when I'm open, and I don't feel like I am strong enough. 'Cause I'm broken when I'm lonesome, and I don't feel right when you're gone away. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share. And no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops fell, and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out his warning, and the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, tenement halls, whispered in the sound of silence. Well, Mama told me when I was young, said sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. It will. Oh, take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come, and they will pass. You'll find a woman, and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above. And be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son? If you can. If you can. Get your lust from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Oh, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? So baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Upon the stair, spoken wasn't well, although I wasn't there. I said I was his friend, which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes, I thought you died alone. Long time ago. Oh no, not me. We never lost control. The face to face of the man who sold the world. I laughed and shook his hand, made my way back home. I searched for years and years I roamed. I gazed and stared. We must have million years. I must have died alone a long, long time ago. Who knows? Not me. I never lost control. Your face to face with another soul world. Who knows? Not me. We never lost control. Your face to face of another soul the world. I wanted you to know that I love the way you laugh. I wanna hold you high and steal your pain away. I keep your photograph, and I know it serves me well. I wanna hold you high and steal your pain. Because I'm broken when I'm lonesome, and I don't feel right when you're gone away. You've gone away, you don't feel me here anymore. The worst is over now, and we can breathe again. I wanna hold your hand, steal my day away. There's so much fail? How can I break away? Feel I die. Make this my final breath. Live every day. Don't wanna see tomorrow. I lost away. Don't have to fade away. Can't handle lie. Doubt the way it is. It's so unfair. Taking my life forever gone. I don't know what I'm thinking. Leave me out in everything. My mind's forever sinking. Take my life forever gone. Where will I be tomorrow? Wasted life. Forget who I am. No thought to consequences. Never feel the end. Blow all my life to pieces. Not to wake another day. Less pain and suffering. Losing feeling tired. No meaning left in my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take my life forever gone. I don't know what I'm thinking. Leave me out in everything. My mind's forever sinking. Take my life forever gone. Where will I be tomorrow? Wasted life. You can be seated. On behalf of Tyler's family, I'd like to welcome you here and sincerely thank you for being here today and for the role that you played in Tyler's life. My name is John, and it really is a privilege to be here and help guide us through this time as we celebrate Tyler's life and legacy. And it's a strange word to use during time of such an unimaginable loss. But Tyler lived a life worthy of celebrating. To pause today, to step out of our regularly scheduled programming, to take time off work, to even travel to this place as a small way of honoring Tyler and embracing the legacy that he leaves behind. It would be a tremendous understatement to say that this has been a heartbreaking 31 days. A violent tornado that appeared out of nowhere and left devastation in its wake. Death is never easy. However, an unexpected death is especially tragic, especially for one so young and so full of potential. Death is never easy, but sometimes it's like a hurricane that we see coming, and we can, in some ways, prepare our hearts for the inevitable. But this was much more like a tornado that appears out of nowhere, wreaks havoc, and then disappears. And you're left standing in the midst of the rubble of what used to be. The shock and the trauma of the unexpected and unimaginable loss. The loss of a son, the loss of a brother, the loss of a friend, the loss of a coworker. We are gathered here today in the midst of all of the shock and the trauma to find each other in the aftermath, to cling to each other in the midst of the rubble, and to find comfort for just a little while in each other's presence. An incredibly rare moment that we share where we're all gathered for the same purpose. Tomorrow, when you're at the grocery store, people will not know why you're grieving. But here in this place, everyone understands. To hold each other up for a little while, but to especially wrap around Tyler's family. And to download as much
strength and comfort into their lives as possible in these next moments, to stretch your hearts towards this front row and to wrap around them as a way of honoring Tyler, to comfort his family. We want to make deposits of strength and love into their hearts that they will need to draw from in the coming days. Don, Linda, Brandy, Rebecca, there are no words. There are no words that can make it better. And I don't want to insult your loss by handing you a Band-Aid. No words exist, but we simply want you to know that you are not alone and that Tyler was loved by so many, and he will be deeply missed, and that this world is a lesser place without him in it. Perhaps you can find some small measure of comfort today by seeing this room filled with people that Tyler impacted. And this is just a portion. There's an overflow room, but even that is just a fraction of the impact that Tyler had on so many people over the course of his brief life. Tyler he had a deep and lasting impact on many. With that in mind, I'd like to invite Todd up to offer the first tribute that we'll hear today.
I had to write things down. Didn't know I was first in the breach either. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Todd Cooney. I've known Tyler for, well, pretty much before I was born. Our families go back so far, military families. Growing up as a military child, you make friends and you take them with you wherever you go. Those bonds run deep. They're what you have, because you have your family and then you have your friends. And Tyler, though he's a friend, I considered him a brother because we just had that kind of connection. So I'm a paramedic in the Army, and I've been around and seen some things, and you'd think that would prepare you for something like this, but nothing will prepare you for this. Nothing can, nothing ever will. So I could stand up here today and talk about how sad I am at the loss of my brother, how sad we all are. We're all adults here. I'm pretty sure you can all gauge truly how sad and how much of a loss this has been for all of us. So I'm not going to go on that. What I am going to do is going to talk about my brother, Tyler. All the good things, the good memories. I'm going to try to keep myself together. So, without further ado, let's go with one of my first memories of Ty. Sorry, and I was told I have about 5 minutes, so if I start rambling, feel free to yell sum up and get me off the stage, okay? There we go. So when I was young, probably about 3 or 4, something like that, my parents had taken my brother and I on this trip across Canada. And we'd stopped into Calgary to visit the Hunts. And it's one of those kind of warm, fuzzy, blurry memories that you don't really understand, like waking up on a couch covered in McDonald's wrappers. Like, you know you had a good time the night before, but you need to talk to the people you were there with. One of those ones. So we got to Calgary, and the Hunts, being the good hosts that they are, took us out to the Calgary Zoo, Callaway Park. And other than that, I just remember it was being great. And that was like my earliest memory. Not a lot from those times. as we can all remember, you don't remember much when you're 3. Now let's fast forward about 10 years. I just moved to Winnipeg, and my parents were kind of sick of me. They wanted to get rid of their devil child for the summer. So they spoke to Don and Linda, and they all did their little backroom deal, and they contrived a plan to get rid of both of their hellspawn for the summer. So they want us to experience the great outdoors. So we went to a camp that Tyler had been to before. Now, what was not relayed to me was not tracking in the hard sell that my parents gave me that I bought was that this was a Bible camp. And that was not made clear until we pulled into the parking lot, and I was like, oh, well then, noted. But Ty, he was just sitting there saying, nah, man, it's all good. Don't worry about that Bible stuff. It's a quick prayer here, and then it's back to water skiing. And I was like, all right. So trusting my friend, we went, and to his credit, it was nowhere near as churchy as I thought it was going to be. And we had just a blast. It was water skiing, inner tubing, and the highlight of the trip, I know it was for Ty, fishing. So there we are. We're out on this little rinky-dink boat. It was great. I mean, we're fresh out on the water. Nothing's biting, through a couple casts. Life was pretty good. So I go to make my cast. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the art of fishing, when you cast, you have to have a grasping manner on your rod. Well, I'd forgotten to put my thumb back around to give it that grasp. And when I cast, I watched my rod leave my hand and go into the watery depths. I was shocked, dismayed, because this was like the beginning of the fishing trip. So I was like, oh no. And then I heard it, and I know you guys all know this sound. There was this belly full of laughs coming from the other side of the boat. And I was like, what? And I looked over, and there he is, just dying laughing on the other side of the boat, because he saw the whole damn thing too. He's just howling, and long after that, we'd be sitting around talking, and he would bring this story up, and he tells it so much better than I did, and he would go off about it. And that was the first time that we ever really hung out. It was a great summer, and yeah, Ty loved to laugh. He had a good one. Came from his heart. So a couple of years later, we had an issue with our roof, and my dad, enlisted the help of his friends and coworkers because he's cheap. He calls it handy, but we know the truth. Now, of which Don and Linda were some of these friends. So naturally, the Hunt clan complete showed up to our house. Now, while the parents toiled with work up on the roof, doing all the hard labor, us kids, we were down in the basement watching. You guys remember this? We watched Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, over and over again. And I must have watched that movie about 6 bloody times that day. I still have not watched that movie since that day. That was it. I'm done. Now, I don't really remember much about that day other than the fact that we had nothing but fun, just laughing it up in the basement. All of us, just plain good times while our parents busted their asses fixing our roof. It was great. Now, Ty and I didn't get back together until I moved to White Ridge, which was probably a few years down the road. We started hanging out regularly at this point. This is where we truly started to bond as brothers. Now, sorry. The interim between the Ace Ventura Marathon and when we'd moved to White Ridge, I'd done some things that led me down a couple different paths. I'd substance abuse issues that were not good, and Ty was integral in getting me off of the dirty stuff. He never judged me, never walked away, just accepted me. Stood by while I sorted my shit out. Brought me into the Triple B's karaoke nights crowd. I see a bunch of you guys here tonight. Glad. And never met anybody better. And well, because of Ty, you poor bastards got subjected to me in a microphone, and look where we are today. So You guys got to hear me belt out the ace of spades and turbo lover, thanks to Ty. Good guy. He was great. He helped me through some rough times and gave me solid advice. He'd drive me around when I lost my license for a bit. Like I said, I wasn't the best person when I was a younger man. And with all this stand-up dudery, I have one dirty secret I have to bring up. Sorry, Ty, I love you, but Don, Linda, did you know he smoked cigarettes? He was convinced that his parents did not know he smoked. I find this extremely hard to believe because I smoked and I stank like cigarettes, and so did he, but his parents completely didn't know. So I'm sorry to pull the curtain back on that one, guys. Brandy, Reb, I know he was your brother. I considered him mine as well. He had my back all the time. Always made sure I got home safe, whether it was a ride from wherever we were, or simply watching me bounce from curb to curb, walking 7 houses away after playing poker. He's a guy, so he's my brother. And a brother, he's a guy who will call your girlfriend to pick you up after he's had to red tackle you with another friend when you're walking the opposite direction of home at 3 a.m. while you're in blackout drive. And still call you the next day to laugh at you about how much of an ass you were the night before. Brother's also the guy you can count on to help you bring your passed out girlfriend up the 2-flight walk up and watch you do your best Chris Farley coffee table smash over carelessly strewn Guitar Hero cables. But most of all, brother is a man that stands with you on your wedding day. And there was a bit of an ulterior motive I had for asking Tyler to stand up there with me. Number one, he was bigger than me. Number two, he knew judo. So if I ran, he was going to drop me, bring my cowardly ass back up front to face the music. Been married for 12 years now, thanks to him. Stand up here and I see all of you. Go ahead and have a look around. You can see that there's no small number of people in this room. We're all here because of Tyler. And that's one of the most infuriating things about him. I couldn't go anywhere with him without him knowing somebody. I'm a St. James boy, Sunnyside. Tyler was White Ridge. Okay, cool. I was bringing him out to a party out there. We're going to go have some fun, introduce him to some people I know. Walk in there. Doesn't he know 2 people? Man, come, okay, all right. He just was an all-around good person. And he met everybody through whatever he did, be it music, be it working in the restaurant industry. He knew somebody everywhere. And not one person would ever have bad things to say about him. The last time I saw Tyler was in 2019. 3 years. I was recently in Winnipeg, just picking up my kids. My parents had been looking after them for the summer. And I didn't get around to coming to say hi to them or anything. Because, well, who knew? No one. So if I'd known that was going to be last chance that I had to, come by, have a laugh, have a drink, give him a hug, definitely would have. But that's life. So everybody, if there's anything you're going to take from this, remember, Ty is a great human. He's a great person. He's a loving son, loving brother, one of the best friends that you could ever hope for. Don't put it off. If you haven't seen a friend in a while, if you haven't seen a brother in a while, or anybody, give them a call. It's just never know. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. That's the first of several tributes that we'll have. Each one very personal. To take a few moments to absorb the tribute, to take it in. What a tremendous difference Ty had on his life. I mean, would he even be here to say anything if Ty hadn't have been there for him? Thanks, Todd. It's wonderful. The next tribute will come from Will. I'd like to invite Will up now to offer his tribute.
I don't know if I'll be able to handle myself as well as Todd did. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Will. Tyler and I have been friends for just over about 20 years. Though we went to high school together, him and most of my friends from high school don't seem to remember that they went to high school with me. And we ended up meeting through mutual friends while attending guys' night with Joe Aiello at the beach nightclub. We won't talk about what went on there. Some of my fondest memories of Tyler always seem to be music related. I don't know why that is. When we first really started hanging out, we never missed a Wednesday karaoke. Not that we were even allowed to miss a Wednesday karaoke. When my son Isaiah was born, he didn't like me. And the first time I managed to get him to fall asleep was with Tyler and I sitting on the deck while Tyler had Avenged Sevenfold blaring. That was the only thing that I could do to get my son to fall asleep. We just happened to be on the deck. At the time, it was our deck. It was just recently purchased and ended up being Tyler's deck as well. So a fond memory of. I don't know that I'll ever attend another concert and feel the same way. Again, some of my best memories, the Foo Fighters at the MTS Center, all the years going to Country Fest. I can genuinely say, even made me an honorary member of the band when they played at Country Fest. And I hope I did you proud, Tyler, and there was just enough cowbell. Over the years, as we grew closer and closer, I can proudly call him one of my best friends and a brother. He was the first person I told when my wife and I got engaged and asked him if he'd be part of my wedding party. He was the first person who came to mind when Ainsley and I were sitting down talking about who's going to be Isaiah's godparents. And when we asked, he didn't hesitate and jumped at the opportunity. Even though he wasn't my blood, my kids called him Uncle Tyler from the start, and he lived up to that every time he was with my kids. He didn't miss a birthday, even if it meant leaving Chris Mackey's August long party to make sure he could be there. Tyler was always around when he needed a helping hand for anything. I got one good example. My wife will get a kick out of it. When Ainsley and I needed help bringing a couch up to our third floor apartment attic suite, and the couch may or may not at one point been holding itself up while being stuck between the stairs and the ceiling. Well, Tyler went outside for the smoke he didn't smoke. I can genuinely say my heart will never be whole again now that you're gone. There will always be something missing in my life. The little things like bonfires in the backyard, country fest, not even and even not being able to see you in the parking lot at work during shift change. Just the little things that won't be the same. Not a day goes by that I don't think about you, and I will forever miss you, my brother. To quote my favorite Newfie song, and then my best friend, until we meet again, and keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Will. Music was such a big part of Ty's life. His happy place was on a stage in front of a microphone. So it's entirely appropriate that music is a part of the celebration of his life. And not just any music, but Ty's favorite music. We're going to have a song of reflection. And this is a gift, really. It's a legitimate way, a sincere way, an authentic way of honoring Tyler and his passion, his true identity as a musician and a performer. So in your mind, and the family puts wonderful pictures on the funeral home page. And that last set of pictures was Ty in his happy place. You could see it. He was shining. That's what he was created to do. So this first song of remembrance, and music has a way of slipping past our defenses. Music has a way of touching and unleashing our emotions, and that's okay. Helps us heal. This first song of remembrance is called All Apologies by, I think would be Ty's favorite musician, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Our next tribute will come from Jeff. At this time, I'd like to invite Jeff up to offer his tribute to Tyler.
Well, most of you do know me, some don't. I'm Officer Jeffrey Dudar. I'd like to thank the Hunt family for allowing me to come up and speak on behalf of Manitoba Corrections. Tyler started his journey with Manitoba Corrections training on January 6, 2014, eventually joining the Milner Ridge family as a correctional officer on March 17th of 2014. Officer Hunt would spend the next 8 years working alongside some of the best and brightest officers. One thing I do admire about Tyler's work ethic was that he was always firm but fair. I would always overhear him say to new officers he was training, never give an inch, as they would always take a mile. That statement is so very true, as I would always see him always being consistent and never faltering when dealing with offenders. The scope of a correctional officer's duty is very complex and challenging. The most would turn the other way and run, but Tyler didn't. He focused and met challenges head on and excelled at every aspect of the job. He was very proud of the work he accomplished as an officer, as were his superiors of him trying to make a difference to individuals of all walks of life while in custody and to those being released to be productive members of society. I had the privilege of working alongside Tyler over the last 5 years. Recently, he joined the same shift crew as me for the last couple of years. Even though we worked different units, this meant a lot of long nights after lock-in just to speak with one another and talk about life and events, but most importantly, concerts. I'm told by many that I have the gift of gab, but I can tell when he had enough of me talking. He had a look and a certain eye roll that he would always give me. I knew it was time for me to cram it. Not only just because he was going to be stuck in the same room with me for another 8 hours, but he also had the joy of being with me for our carpool for an additional hour on the way back to the city. Honestly, it was always a blast. Me and Tyler thought it was probably the loudest carpool, not just because of my consistent talking before the sun came up, but because he would always crank up the newest rock or metal release at 5 a.m. and hit the highway where we were each other's incoming deer warning system, or in one instance, when it hit the ditch during a blizzard. He was the guy who jumped out of my truck in freezing cold ditch water to retrieve the tow rope so we could get out and head to work. He would always brag about the fancy plain socks he got from the duty office that he kept in his locker. Don't worry, they were new. This is always one of the many instances Tyler would pitch in to help me in the time of need. He had your back no matter what. In closing, I would like to say the corrections officer prayer. Lord, when it's time to go inside, that place is steel and stone. I pray that you will keep me safe so I won't walk alone. Help me to do my duty. Please watch me on my rounds, amongst those perilous places and slamming steel door sounds. God, keep my fellow officers well and free from harm. Let them know there'll be too wherever there's an alarm. Above all, when I walk my beat, no matter where I roam, let me go back whence I came to family and home. Officer Hunt, although gone, you will never be forgotten. Rest easy, my brother. We will take it from here. May God bless you and your family. Tyler, you are loved and missed by all your brothers and sisters in blue. We will all miss you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Brad will offer the next tribute. So I'd like to invite Brad up to offer his tribute.
We are here today to celebrate the life of Tyler Hunt. Where do I begin with Ty? He was an amazing friend, musician, person that touched the lives of many and will be missed. Well, I will tell you a little of my history with Ty. I met Ty in the summer of 2004 at Triple B's after a jam with mutual friends. He came up to me, introduced himself, and offered me, of course, an ice cold Canadian. We spent the rest of the night chatting about music. I told him I was a drummer, and he said he had a band called Giver. I came out to many of their shows, and they always put on a great performance. As the years went on, me and Ty always stayed in touch. In 2018, after a few years hiatus, Ty started to give her up again. and I ran into him at the riverside, where he told me he had just purchased a brand new drum kit. But the only kicker was, no drummer. So I suggested that I came down for an audition, which led to a great 4 years of being Ty's drummer. To get an idea of how wide Ty's circle and influence was, if it was not for Ty, I would have not met my girlfriend Jill and many other amazing friends and bandmates. This seems to be the common thread amongst his friends, saying if it wasn't for Tyler, they would have not met their wife, husband, or new friends. In closing, we were all devastated by Ty's untimely passing. But I take comfort in knowing that he's looking down on us, jamming with all his rock and roll idols like Kurt Cobain, Chris Cornell, and Dimebag Darrell. Until we meet again, friend, I love you and always miss you, brother.
Thanks, Brad. As I looked at the page, the tribute page, and the pictures, I got to see Tyler grow up. Picture is worth 1,000 words. And the music at the end, I could see the light in his eyes, even through the picture. And there was one tribute that was offered that I'll read here. He said, whether playing in someone's basement or up on the Scotia stage at the Forks, Tyler knew how to rock it out and put on a good show. He could pull a note from the depth of his soul and put it out there on the stage for everyone. He was a fantastic singer and an even better person. If I was ever in trouble, I knew I could rely on Tyler to pull the shirt off his back, even though it would leave him cold. How many of those tributes could be offered? Hundreds? Thousands? The ripple effect of his life is beyond comprehension. There's one final song of remembrance, and again, Tyler was a musician at heart. He was pursuing the dream. And this is, again, not just any song, it's one of Tyler's favorite songs. And we're coming to the final part of the service. And these moments of music are a gift to remember, to let the best memories rise to the surface. It's a strange thing to be crying and smiling at the same time. But that's a healing thing. So this song is Simple Man by Shine Down.
Well, Mama told me when I was young, said sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. It will. Oh, take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a woman and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above. And be a simple kind of man. And be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can, if you can. Get your lust from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Oh, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? So baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
I'd now like to invite Ty's dad, Don, up to offer some words on behalf of the family.
Hello, folks. Thank you for coming. I see that there is a mixture of what I call the 5 lives of Tyler. Music, number 1. His work, number 2. His neighborhood has become part of that as well, where he's been there for about an 8-year period, made fabulous friends, and down to the Riverview as well. So that's come into his life. The 4th one would be his work life when he did some work in the food services industry. And finally, his friends from school, back when he went through school and that sort of idea. Some people are intermingled within that. Some people are separate from each one of those lives, but you've got to know, I guess he worked in all 5 of those, could talk to anybody about anything and loved them all. I'd like to thank the presenters this afternoon. You guys, it takes a little bit of, what do you want to call it? Brave souls to stand up here and talk in front of a group. Not everyone can do it, but thank you very much. You guys all did fabulous. And also thank to John for being the MC for today. Thank you again. People are here from close, they're within the perimeter. Some people from outside of the perimeter still within Manitoba. And we also have some people that I know are a couple guys from Edmonton, my daughter's from Spain. If there's anybody else that's from outside the province, when we have refreshments, come on over and talk. Let me know where else people are from. just to kind of give us an idea. That would be greatly appreciated. I'd like to thank Mental Justice and the Milner Ridge folks for coming out today in mass, those that are in uniform. They've done a fabulous job. And I'd like to also thank the Honor Guard for doing their part in this particular ceremony. When I was offered the chance of, I'm sorry, there are a few triggers, and that's one of them. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you, the Honor Guard. You guys have done fabulous. Thank you. Another group, Blue Bombers, helped us with a few things at the beginning. We, you know, he enjoyed his work. He spent the night pouring drinks up in the lounge at every Bomber game since they've been in their new location. So thank you again for that. Ty's influence, people have talked about it among the presenters. Ty's influence with people in those different facets, those different lives that I talked about, they are strong, they're enduring, and they're solid. Thank you. It's time now, we're getting close to the end. We like to wrap up. And basically we're gonna break for some refreshments. Carry on any discussions that people may have started earlier, or come up with some new discussions for the day. And also a time to say goodbye to Tyler. The Honor Guard will, if you could please just wait for a few minutes. The Honor Guard, we will actually march out with them with the ashes, and everybody will get out. It's just give us a couple of minutes prior to, please. And just to let you know, we've got two urns up front here. One is the black one at the beginning. On the other side is going to be the future home of Tyler. My daughter found it on the internet. It was out of stock. She wrote the company. They said it'll be probably October before it's done. 3 days later, poof, there it was. And 6 days later, it was sitting on our doorstep. So that's his future.
Yeah, it was the only way to honor him.
Yep, the only way to honor him. The only thing better is if it was a red and black guitar. That's the only thing. Anyway, we'll be going out basically the same way where you came in. Keep on going across, and that'll be where the refreshments are. Time for an ad tonight at the hangar. Will and Tammy, the lady that introduced Tyler, I guess, into karaoke and kept his habit going from a karaoke standpoint. They've started a tribute for Tyler tonight, and it's going to be karaoke and beer at the hangar. For those that don't know, that's the former Triple B's. It's on Scurfield and Kenniston, down in the White Ridge area, and it starts at 6 o'clock. For those that haven't done it already, please give them a call, only just to let them know that some folks are coming, and they'll have hopefully lots of beer for those that are there. So anyway, a final thank you. And I just want to close with something that my wife's has started to say, and it goes into the theme that Todd had talked about. Give your child a hug every day, because you never know when it'll be the last. I'm sorry. Anyway, enough about me, enough about doing this. We'll see you in the refreshment area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. I'd like to close the service. Actually, I'd like Tyler to close the service. I'm going to close. The benediction was Ty's mantra. Keep on keeping on.
All the lies that I hide from you are coming back.